Hi, my name is Bonnie Keating, and I'm a nutritionist. I was referred to you by your primary care provider after you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So I'm here today to try to help improve some of the lifestyle factors that could help improve your weight, your BMI. I saw, according to the information that I was provided, your BMI was 30.6. So we're going to try to figure out how we can get that down to at least 24.9, which should be a healthier category. Also, I saw that your pre-meal or fasting glucose labs were over 180. They were 189. So the goal here is we're going to try to get that under 180. So some things that we can look towards, or I can help you identify, is ways to manage your type 2 diabetes by going through this handout that I put together. As you can see here, balanced diet is really important. Also, learning how to look at a food label to identify your sugar or your carbohydrates that are in your diet. And as you can see here, according to this nutrition label, you can see where the carbohydrates are listed. So some of the key components that we can look into also in order to understand the correct lifestyle behaviors to try to focus in on are identifying what a serving of carbohydrate would look like. Also, learning how to carb count. We're going to go over that in the handout. Finding ways to cut out the simple sugars or the sugars that help elevate your resting or your glucose blood sugar. Try to make sure that you're not skipping meals, and then trying to add in more physical activity in the day, at least 30 minutes per day. I know that you're not doing a whole lot of that due to your fatigue level right now, but try to encourage adding in initially 30 minutes per day and potentially increasing that to improve any chances of weight loss. But at first, we just want to focus in on about 30 minutes a day, most days a week. As you can see here, we're going to focus in on balancing blood sugar. So as you can see, this food label at the top that we went through already, when you see your carbohydrates listed as total carbohydrates, you want to fall within a 45 to 65% total energy intake. And according to the numbers that I looked at, since your age, you're in your 70s, that would put you at a 600 kilocalorie intake today to maintain. So I estimated to put you at 1500, slightly less, to try to encourage weight loss. Of course, we can always, it's just an estimation, we can always play around with your numbers after a few weeks and figure out if that's appropriate or not. So that would put you around 675 to 975 range, depending on your percentage of carbohydrates that you wanted to take into your diet. Also, when you look at a food label, you're looking at dietary fiber. And a goal each day for dietary fiber is at least 14 grams per 1,000 kilocal, and that would put you around 21 grams of dietary fiber. And foods that you'll get that from are fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Those are the type of foods that you want to definitely focus on getting in your diet. Research shows that anything like simple sugars that you add into your diet, like added sugar, if you stay with under 35% total energy intake, studies show that it won't cause any harm. So that would say less than 525 of your calories each day would be from simple sugars. And of course, you're not trying to reach that. It's just trying to stay under that. So if we look down here, we're talking about carb counting. And this graph right here shows you what a serving of carbohydrate would look like, about 15 grams. And so one slice of bread would be a serving, a half a cup of cooked pasta or rice, 4 to 6 crackers, one small piece of fruit or 4 ounces, a half a cup of canned or frozen fruit, 2 small cookies if you have a sweet tooth, and then again, maybe a half a cup of ice cream or sorbet. So you're moderating some of those things you enjoy. So if we look at here, we estimated your calories to be around 15 kilocalories per day to focus on improving weight in order to improve your blood sugar. So if we took 50% of your calorie intake for carbs, that would put you around 750 kilocal. And then if we wanted to figure out what grams, you would divide that by 4, and we have you at 188 grams a day of carbohydrate. Now what we're going to do is divide that by the number of meals you eat in the day. So generically speaking, if you were at 3 meals a day, we would divide 188 divided by 3 and have you at 63 grams of carbohydrates per meal. Now, if you like to eat smaller meals more frequently, I put you at 4, 188 divided by 4, and we have you at 47 grams. Now, when we figure out how many servings, because we know one serving is 15 grams, so one serving of carbohydrate is a piece of bread, we would say that at one meal, at 3 meals a day, you're at 4 servings. So, generically speaking, 4 pieces of bread, 1 piece of bread, a half a cup of cooked pasta, which leaves you at 2 more servings. Maybe you have another piece of bread and a small piece of fruit. So, keeping track of how many carbohydrates per meal, you're at 4 servings if you're at 3 meals a day. If you're at 4 meals a day, that would put you at 3 servings. And again, this is just some examples of how you could easily identify one serving. And then also identifying some easy ways to avoid or cut out added sugar in your diet. So avoid adding sugar to your drinks. Try to find low-calorie drinks, things like where you add fresh fruit, natural flavor that's not going to add calories or sugar into that drink. If you are going to drink fruit juice, try to stay within a half a cup of a serving. And watch for foods that have added sugar and count them into your whole day of calorie intake. So don't just disregard them. So whatever it is that you're consuming, you need to pay attention to it and make sure that you're adding it to your total intake that we learned up when we're counting our carbs, which would be if you're at 3 meals a day, 63 grams per meal, or if you're at 4 meals a day, that's 47 grams per meal. And some other things to keep track of or focus on is don't skip meals, eat every few hours. Don't save up all your carbohydrates for the end of the day. Like, oh, I want to eat that ice cream. I'm not going to eat a whole lot during the beginning of the day, and then I'm going to save them for the end of the day. That's not ideal to maintaining your blood sugar. You want to keep it maintained throughout the day. And also, in regard to activity, don't sit for long periods of time. Try to get regular movement throughout the day, and this increased calorie burn could help you improve your BMI and improve circulation in your body. So that would just be a healthier way that you could start making those slight changes in your lifestyle. I will be here available to answer any of your questions that you may have. Let's schedule a follow-up for 2 weeks after you really set forth in identifying how many grams of carbohydrates. We've learned how to carb count. And then also I want to refer you out to a registered dietitian that specifically works with diabetes patients, because maybe they can go in more in depth in some of the questions that you may have. So I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, and best of luck in your lifestyle changes.